up in Rochester, New York, I was fortunate to see playing live many of the great jazz musicians I listened to on records. I remember seeing Gene Ammons and Shirley Scott and could hear why Gene was nicknamed Jug. He had a big, beautiful sound. Dizzy Gillespie played in Rochester. I sat in with him at the Eastman School of Music when I was just a kid. Maynard Ferguson, Buddy Rich, Pepper Adams, Sam Jones, and of course Jame Moody. Moody would play at the Monticello Room, and me and my brothers, John, the tenor player, and Danny, the bassist, would be there every night, despite having to get up early for school. One day, when I was around 16, I was sweeping outdoors of a storefront and some fellow came by and said to me, "Make sure you get it all up." I looked up thinking, who is this cat? And said, You're, and he said, "Jame Moody." James had a theory book under his arm, and I asked the rhetorical question, "What is that for?" And James, in a self-effacing manner, said, "Well, you know, there's always something to learn." Whenever Moody came through town, he would invariably give us three brothers a lesson and we'd offer to pay him, but he would never accept compensation. He once said to me, "I like that you transpose your ideas." And then he said, "You know, anything you play forwards, you should be able to play backwards." Recently, someone on Facebook asked me, "Everything?" Well, not literally everything, but a line that has beauty and shape to it and is practical in both directions. The musician in this case has artistic license to pick and choose what patterns to do this with. This is one of the things that drew me to jazz, that you had freedom and that there was always something new to practice. There are only two whole tone scales, the C whole tone scale and the C sharp whole tone scale. This is a little deceiving because if you start a C whole tone scale on its second degree, D, and call that the root, it is a D whole tone scale. But the notes are exactly the same and the intervals are exactly the same for both scales, just a different starting point. The same applies for any note in a whole tone scale. Why is this? This is a perfectly symmetrical scale made up of all whole tone intervals, unlike the major scale that is made up of two tetrachords, that is, two four-note chords spanning the interval of a fourth linked together. Theoretically, we should be able to start any scale on the lowest note on our horn. In the case of the trumpet, this note is an F sharp, so using the C whole tone scale, but starting it on an F sharp, it'll look like this. You can call this the F sharp whole tone scale for the sake of this practice on trumpet. On your instrument, you can call the root the lowest note on your horn in this particular scale. Now here is the pattern I'd like to practice as I've learned it. I have only learned it in a descending manner. Now if I did as Moody asked, and I practiced this backwards, it would sound and look like this. This is unusual for me to play this pattern ascending, and I may never use this in a solo. I remember someone at one of Barry Harris's classes saying, "Why should I practice that? I'll never play that in a solo." And Barry responded, "Because you should be able to." So think of it as climbing Mount Everest, because it's there. Part of your practice should be for endurance, part for range, part for clarity, pureness of tone, and part for your thought process if you want to be a good improviser. Now if you do this on a C whole tone scale, you should also be able to do this with the C sharp whole tone scale. It'll sound like this. Well, I hope you enjoyed Moody's lesson. He was a huge influence on me, a real gentleman, and master of flute, alto, and tenor sax. You should be able to play scales and arpeggios up and down, but don't just relegate this practice to scales and arpeggios. Choose some lines, motifs, or patterns that are suitable and practice them forwards and backwards. If you have any questions or comments, don't hesitate to ask in the comments section below. Also, feel free to subscribe to my channel for updates on my newest jazz video lessons.